Good afternoon and welcome to Pandora's Age, our weekly post-apocalyptic RPG live play session. I'm Brian F. Irving. I'll be your games master for this evening. The setting, Pandora's Wake, is by Gethsemane Games, but the rule system we are using is the Modern Age system by our friends over at Green Ronin. You can check them out at greenronin.com. This is part of Stage 2, or the second story arc. As I mentioned, I'm your Games Master. I'm with Gethsemane Games and with DH9 Radio. Sound effects that you'll be hearing are also by DH9 Radio, by their Foley unit, or our Foley unit. Some might also be by BattleBards of freesound.org or Kevin McLeod at incompetech.com. The music itself is by the DH9 Radio production unit, and your cast of players for this evening are Mark Savall as Rab.
All right, you bunch of dafties, let's go.
Chris Gibson as Adam Taylor.
Yes, I'm Adam Taylor. Chris Gibson as Adam Taylor.
And also Chris.
And also Chris, yeah. Jenny Savall as Erin Black.
Hello, I play Erin Black, who is a rescue helicopter pilot for the Coast Guard, although how much longer that will last, I don't know.
Indeed. Ben Watson as Joe Watson.
Hello, I play Joe. I am Ben, and I am a crook.
Yes, you notice he said he was a crook after he said Ben. Well, not Joe. Sean McGuile as Thomas Gallagher.
Evening. I'm the mechanic and/or stroke handyman.
Yeah, and/or stripper.
Well, when I've got my overalls on, on the stage.
God. And moving swiftly on, Marie McGowan Irving as Elizabeth Lizzy Ryan.
Hello, I'm Marie, and I'm quite traumatised now.
I
play Lizzy Ryan, who is a parkour and chase tag specialist athlete who seems to seriously lose her temper sometimes.
Indeed so. Okay, I'm going to give you the intro, which also includes some clues in the newsreel. So, if you are listening at the far end to the music, that would be useful. The Roll20 player, that would be useful. If not, well, get somebody to paraphrase this next bit shortly.
The Government's Emergency Powers Otherverse Act was passed today over the objections of the Lords who had returned the bill to the lower house. The move has triggered a constitutional crisis, and experts have claimed the move is in violation of British law. The First Ministers of Scotland and Wales responded by calling for new referendums on devolution.
As food shortages continue to plague the country, the spate of lorry hijackings has increased for a third month running in the UK. Lorry drivers are demanding more protection as they are facing increasingly violent attacks by masked assailants, often armed with improvised weapons, knives and shotguns. Police forces across the country have responded by diverting more armed units to defend freight transports, and the hauliers' unions have proposed that all freight should be moved in convoys rather than single wagons.
The United Nations Counter-Alien Incursion Force confirmed today that they have identified 4 new extra-dimensional life forms that constitute a hazard to terrestrial life. Civilians are warned not to approach any unknown animal or plant life, but to report the sighting to the UN.
In the north of England and Scotland, the fuel crisis has reached critical levels, with many petrol stations reporting that they have had no deliveries in weeks and are out of fuel. Angry incidents at petrol stations have escalated, and in Leeds last night, a riot broke out at a petrol station when its first delivery in 20 days arrived. 6 people were arrested and 9 were injured, including 2 police officers.
A year has passed since the Pandora event, the night that the skies turned purple and tore open to reveal what lay behind them. The Otherverse. A lethal hellscape populated by plant and animal species that knew no fear of humanity and which spilled out into our universe. The first to cross were the deadly predatory fauna of the Otherverse, no more than animals but seemingly with an endless hunger for terrestrial life. At first, humanity held its own. For all the savagery of the creatures, our technology and weapons gave us an edge that these animals of the other verse could not match. Then came the flora, no less deadly than the fauna it seemed, some toxic to terrestrial life, some carnivorous and predatory like the animals that had come before. The alien plant life took root in our world and began to terraform it into a copy of its own. With it came the diseases, wave after deadly wave of pathogen. Cracks began to show, smaller, often rural areas began to fall to the other verse. Our food supply chains began to buckle under the strain. Riots broke out in cities as food and fuel shortages loomed, and still the other verse spilled out across the earth. Welcome to the game. We left it last week where the party had been fighting a fire on Bill's farm. Bill, their neighbour, who sold them the bunker that they live in at the moment.
And gave us meat.
Yes, milk, dairy, all sorts. As they fought the fire, Thomas noticed that the fire was simply a distraction, and that in a further field down, a group of cattle rustlers were stealing Bill's cattle. We ended where the party had chased them off, but unfortunately they've escaped with at least 3 cattle in one large truck, articulated wagon, or semi, as the US listeners might recognise it. I knew he was going to do that. Actually, I thought it was going to be Jenny, if I'm entirely honest.
I know. I was a bit too slow to that one.
You were, yes. And the other in a horse box attached behind a what do you call it? Let's call it a car. Yeah, a little truck thing. So we rejoin the party.
And you now get to answer one of my questions.
Oh, can I answer? You've got a question, have you?
What a surprise!
Isn't it?
You remember last week I wanted to take a pot shot as the guy as he drove away on the motorbike?
I recall.
Aye. Well, I wish to find out if I shoot him in the back.
You wish to
Oh
find...
my god.
Right, okay. So,
No, these are rock salts, Jenny. They're not going to murder him. They're just, I'm going to knock him off the bike so I can take the bike.
All right.
That is absolutely true. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the... Oh, actually, most of you have been looking at the cattle field by the look of it. You were already over there. So I just need to move you guys back onto the little red strip so you all move at once. You should all be looking at the cattle field now where you're all standing. And we wanted, at least...
I was still with...
Ben wanted to know if he had managed to shoot the guy in the back. Okay, so who were you aiming at? Was it one of the guys on the bike?
The guy who's by himself, because there's one by himself and then there's 2 on 1.
That's right, okay. Okay, so you're aiming at the guy on the bike by himself. So that gives him
and
no...
I can actually aim as well.
Yeah, that gives him no cover at all, a bike, because obviously they're open. Certain types of vehicle would give you cover. So go ahead and shoot at him and see what happens.
Please tell me Brian's going to be doing the sound effects for the cows. That'd be amazing.
14.
And of course the silly cow. Ooh.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing. There's no reason at all why it was your voice that triggered the idea of a silly cow in my head. None at all, just coincidental. Happy anniversary, by the way. He says, desperately trying to deflect. Okay, so 14 I think might be a hit. I will just find out when I remember what the fuck I'm doing. So this is Cattle Rustler.
I think this was 2d6 damage for the shotgun, but I'm gonna have
It
to
is,
check.
but because it's loaded with rock shot, my dear boy. Because it's loaded with
Sean
rock
Connery.
salt, yeah, rock salt. It's not wounding damage; it is stunning damage. But do go ahead and roll the damage.
I think it was 2d6 plus 6 plus the second one. It indeed it was.
Yep.
Just looked good. Nice shot. And plus, what's my perception? Spook. It's too late now. 16. Oh, and is my dexterity higher?
What is your dexterity?
4.
Oh shit! Yes, it is.
Then he's taken 20 damage.
Holy shit.
Shit.
We're trying to actually kill him.
No, because there's a stunning damage because he's firing rock salt.
Yeah, well, that much though.
Okay, so even accounting for his armor, his biker armor. Wait a minute, I might have separate stats for that. Oh, okay. Even accounting for his biker armor, you hit him in the back with the rock salt hits him with such force that you see his bike skids across the road. He goes sliding up the tarmac for about another 10 yards and then drops into a ditch. His bike is lying in the ground with the wheels still spinning.
Ooh, somebody needs to jump on that and go after them.
I'm going to jump on the bike. Does anyone want to get on the back with me?
Well,
It's not even funny.
It's not particularly, but I suspect that snort was Jenny, and you know what she's like.
well, I thought Rab was wanting to go after them, but I mean, I don't know.
Come on, Rab.
Mark,
Yeah, but you'd have to go
very
back and get
quiet
it though.
I suppose.
Rab, I'm going to pass you the shotgun. So you now have a shotgun loaded with rock salt.
It's not loaded
You'll have to
anymore, you fired both barrels.
Yeah, you'll have to reload it.
Because you fired one of the barrels earlier,
I did, yes.
and now you've just discharged the second.
Did he give me any spare rock salt ammunition?
I am going to assume he gave you a handful. So, since you've now passed it to Rab, Mark, roll 2d6, and that's the number of cartridges that you've got. That Joe is also handing you 10 cartridges. So he kind of hands you a bunch of cartridges that are in his pocket. You spill one or two of them, but you've still got 10 that you managed to stuff in your own pockets. Now, are you running back to get your bike, or are you just jumping on the back of this one that...
Just jump on the back.
Just going to jump on the back of this one. Okay. So, I just need to start a new page in my notebook. This would be the 25th.
And if we run out of ammunition for this shotgun, I've got about 170 and change in my pocket, right?
Okay.
Rattle.
So pilot of the bike is Joe. Also,
You always forget my name.
I do, yeah. Rab is also a passenger. Okay, so I'm not sure I've left enough space on this notepad for this. Hold on. So let's go bike. You guys will take off on the round immediately after the guys you're chasing. Then what's everybody else doing?
I was going to run over and see how that guy's doing who came off the bike, and then probably just try and drag him back to around
I'm
this
running
area.
after. I know I'm on foot, but I'm pure raging me.
Right.
It's like pure fucking raging. So I'm going to chase her out along after the other guys that are getting away.
Okay, so bear in mind, you know that some of your lot have cars nearby. You may or may not have noticed, depending on whether you heard him, but Farmer Bill has yelled that he's going to go get the Land Rover.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to give chase as well.
The fire brigade. Shall I deal with them?
Yeah, you can deal with the fire brigade if you want to.
I'm on the other map where they would be going to.
Why are you still
I'm not
the
on any
There's
map.
literally nobody showing up as on another map.
Yeah, I'm not on any map.
And about me tokens on the other map. I can see this map though.
Right, so you talk. Right, okay, so that's not quite the same thing. Right, okay. Okay. So let me just put. I mean, none of you are going to need to be on this map either in a moment because we're going to be leaving it. So, mind. What I'll probably do therefore is. Oh, I'll drag these over anyway.
Yeah, actually, my tokens are not on this map. It doesn't really matter though.
Yeah, it was.
Actually,
Adam,
you should all
Aaron
be
and
able
Thomas
to see the map anyway because it should.
Yeah,
be,
yeah. I
Yeah,
can
so
see
it
it,
doesn't
so it's
matter
fine.
if your token's not there. Okay, so Adam, you're going to deal with the fire brigade, yeah?
Uh-huh.
You said. I mean, they're pretty much, they know what to do. They're just like getting on with the process of putting out any last remnants of the fire, checking for sparks and whatnot. But you can indeed go and deal with them. Ben, you're driving down after the escaping cattle rustlers, Rabs off there as well. Erin, you're trying to capture the prisoner, yeah? Capture the prisoner. Capture the guy that came off his bike. Could you give me a dexterity, not a dexterity, a perception seeing test, please?
Alright.
Bearing in mind it is night time, let me just see if he's managed to give you the slip. I'm going to give him a -1 penalty because he has just come off his bike. So he would be a touch. Right.
Ah, bollocks.
Yeah, he's managed to slip off into the darkness.
Oh,
You just can't spot him, unfortunately.
Sean said he's going after him as well.
Okay, Sean, could you give me a same thing, perception seeing test as well, please?
Quite a high roll to beat them.
It is. Ooh, he's drawn. So, we go over to who has the highest stat, I think. Or is it?
Did you say the cattle rustler had a -1 though?
He does. So, Thomas, you've spotted him. He's hiding in the ditch a bit further down. He's kind of crawling away, trying not to be caught, essentially.
And I'm like looking in the complete wrong direction.
Yeah.
Hiding behind the cows.
Hiding behind the cows, yeah. Okay, so you guys got to grab him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start the chase with Tothers.
With what's his name from the TV show, Doctor Who?
Bradley, yeah.
Bradley
Bradley
Walsh.
Walsh. Yeah, Bradley Walsh. Okay, so let me just bring up the chase.
Who's the expert though? Or whatever it is. I don't know what they call them.
The chasers.
Yeah.
Clues in a name. Right. Okay, so
At least it's not Noel Edmonds. But yeah.
well, quite. So
God,
the thing was, the chase is split into two parts: rural car chase followed by semi-rural car chase, rural car chase.
And
Chases
you
along.
also remember
Mhm.
the fuel line on the big truck's being cut.
Yes.
It has, yes, it has.
So
So it
Can I
will be
hear a little
running out.
meow?
So
That was my cat, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, large vehicles have a particular problem handling the roads here, so they're at -1. That's not what I wanted to know. Head start. The rustlers begin with a head start of 5 points if the party gave chase immediately. 6 if the party took time to launch a volley of missile fire before. Okay, so rustlers. So it would be...
Excuse me.
Wagon is on 6, bike 1 is on 6, bike 2 has been captured already. What the hell do they call them? It's not a pickup truck, that's an American term. What do we call them?
Jeep.
No. Jeep's also an American term, it's literally
A wagon.
No, it's not a wagon.
I know what you mean, but I'm trying to remember the name. The open
Four
back
wheeler.
sort of.
Yeah.
Lorry.
It's not a lorry. It's a pickup truck.
Okay.
It's a pickup truck. It's like it's got a cab and then it's got an open bed. I mean, I call it a mobile swimming pool because every time it rains,
Yeah.
that
I'm going to
bed's
call it
full
a
of
pickup
water.
truck, which is the American term, because the British term for them just won't come back to us. So I'm going to call it a pickup truck. Okay. Even though they're not a truck, that's why we don't use the term truck to avoid the confusion, because it's just a large car, really. They're about the size
Yeah.
of a station wagon, which again is an American term. People carrier. Okay, so the pickup truck is also on 6, and that's before the roll starts. So just before we do actually fully start the chase, those of you who are not currently participating, are you intending to, when when other vehicles get here, or are you going to be dragging this guy off to interrogate him, or what's the plan?
Well, I was thinking of tying him to like that tree there, and then maybe getting in one of the vehicles. I don't know how far away my car is.
Your car, let me just check, because I prepped this in the little document here. If the characters have to go and fetch their own vehicles, the opponent will gain a 10-point head start on them.
Fucking hell, okay.
But you will also have spent a round capturing a prisoner, so he would have a 15-point head start. So, yeah, what I would do then would be I would advance the bad guys to 15, but I would advance everybody that took off before you, so that they're still the same relative amount behind them, if you understand what I mean. So I would advance Rab and Ben so that they're on 9. So anyway, Sean, what about you? What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to secure this guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you and Erin are dragging this guy who's like he's slightly stunned because he's come off his bike, and you notice the silly bugger didn't have a hat on. It's his own fault. He didn't have a helmet on. This is what he gets. So he's slightly concussed as you drag him back to where that tree is and start lashing him to the tree with whatever kind of restraints Erin generally carries on her. I'm not sure why she does, but she did leap at the thought of I'll just be able to strap him to a tree, so I'm not going to go into too much detail as to why.
She's using his belt.
Yeah.
Good point.
Trousers.
Right.
And
Okay.
then she's going to cover him in something that cows find irresistible and then let the cows have him.
I was going to say we could set the cows as guards on him.
Some what's it called? Crumble some cow salt blocks on him where they can just come and lick him.
Yeah.
Cow nip.
Cow nip.
Okay, so bike 1 out of your side. I'll tell you what. I'll call you guys bike A. So your bike A, the enemy's going to have their bikes numbered numerically. Yours will be designated alphabetically. So bike A is Rab and Joe. You're currently on 9 in the church. So you're going racing up the... You're 6 away from the opponent, so they're just out of range at the moment. But Rab's desperately trying to reload his shotgun whilst clinging onto the back of a bike. Just racing up country roads. This is going to be fun.
Mate, we just caught this Tuesday morning where I come from.
Meanwhile, as you are tearing away up the thing, Lizzy's running up the road as the Land Rover comes herring round the corner and screeches to a halt, and Bill flings the door open. So...
I'll drive in, look something off a Dukes of Hazzard.
Okay, so Land Rover has got the pilot is Bill.
Pilot?
Yeah, driver. And passenger is Lizzy. What about what about fuck's sake. Erin and Thomas. Are you guys grabbing the lift in the Land Rover, or are you going for one of your own vehicles?
Well, if we finished tying this guy to the tree, then I'll just leap in the thing with the, with Lizzy and what's his face, the farmer.
Right, you are. Okay. What about you, Sean?
My brain's not working either.
I think I need to sort of stay where I am, but keep an eye on this guy.
Okay.
Make sure that he doesn't suffer any further injury.
Okie dokie. So Lizzy and Erin. Okay.
You know, somebody could stand on his hands or break his toes or something. Like when he fell off that motorbike, caused all that damage.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Okay. I'm gonna pop over to this then, because we don't really need to be on that map as you go screeching off up the road in pursuit of the escaping bad guys. So their drivers are all these chaps. So for the next round of the chase, you're tearing up country roads in the darkness. This isn't an easy job at all. However, one of you's on a bike, one of you's in a Land Rover. Do either of you that dived into the Land Rover want to take over driving it, by the way? Because Bill is quite happy to let you, because then he can lean out of the window with his shotgun instead.
Well, I'm best at actual piloting, so...
Yeah, go on, Jenny, you do it. I don't have driving as a skill.
I don't have driving as
Yeah, but you'll have a
piloting.
high dexterity though, won't you?
Yeah, that's it. My dex is only 2.
My
you
dex is 5.
Yeah, I think you might be better.
Yeah, okay. Do you need a driving roll from me, Brian?
Yes, I'm just going to swap out so it's Lizzie is now the pilot, and Bill is now the passenger. So you
riding shotgun, is he?
Riding shotgun, yeah.
Literally
riding shotgun, yes. So let us start with bike A then. So Joe, could I get a dexterity driving roll from you, please?
Absolutely.
And
it's a 15.
You got a 15? Okay, so the target number for the first part is... Let me just have a look. You're on a bike, so your target number for the rural chase is 13. It's quite challenging. So that's a pass. What did you get on your stunt
Just
dice?
1.
You got 1 on your stunt dice. Okay.
I did actually generate stunts though.
You did. So use the chase stunts and tell me what you'd like to do.
All I can do is burst for speed, so I'll do that.
Okay, do you want to read that out?
You gain a +1 bonus on your next chase test for every 1 SP you spend.
Okay, so you get +1 on your next chase test. Okay, Marie, could you give me the driving test for the Land Rover, please?
Okay.
Okay, so you just foot down, off you go. Right, you're still lagging well behind everybody else, but you can see the lights of the bike up ahead, so you're trying to catch up to that, zipping through these very, very narrow country roads. And just to give you an idea, actually, I'm going to take you all over to the country road map. I don't have your vehicles plonked on here.
Did you have to say country roads quite so often?
Take me home.
I won't sing it in case we get a copyright strike, but yes, it's in my head now.
I've got, stuck in my head.
Okay, so you are hurtling up this B road. You'll notice that there's ditches either sides of it. There's
B road, you've been a bit kind there, I think.
Yes, it is. It is kind to describe this as a B road. To be honest, this back lane essentially. You've got it's barely 4 meters wide. Less than it's about 3 and a bit meters wide, really. You could pass 2 vehicles on this, but you would need to be, you wouldn't want to be reckless, which is a shame, really, because you're chasing a fucking lorry. So you are being just a smidge reckless. So I'm going to roll for the baddies. So first of all, a driving roll from our wagon driver. He gets -1.
They immediately crash.
There is a crash risk. Okay, so he's fucking off. He's like, ah! Been chased by them nutters. Okay,
Mother trucker.
It'd be amazing if one of those dinosaur beasties joins in as well.
Well, see now, that's one of the things that's listed on the complication chart.
Oh, right, okay.
As one of them shows up and just grabs one of the moving vehicles. Okay, so let me just find chase stunts. Do you know, I don't think I've ever generated chase stunts in any game, so I don't think I've ever actually read these that closely. Let's just have a look. Burst of speed. How many did he get? 5?
5.
He did get 5. Okay, evasive maneuvers, follow the leader, attack. He's a bit out of range for that, really. shortcut. He's never going to get a vehicle the size of his through a shortcut because it would mean going over the fields. And given that he's driving an articulated lorry, I don't think that's really very likely. So
It would look cool though.
it would look extremely cool. Attack on the move. You can make a bonus melee or ranged attack. Use the bonus. Okay, he's too far out to be able to do that. So he's going to have to use evasive maneuvers until the next turn. Any attacks against him are at -2 penalties. He's also going to use burst of speed for 3 points. So he'll get +3 on his next roll. So I'll just make a note that he gets +3 on his next roll. And next up is bike. Actually, I'm going to make it the pickup truck next because the bike's actually trying to run interference. So the pickup truck driver, excuse me. The pickup truck driver, I believe, has just failed. So I think I said the test here was 13, didn't I?
13, yeah.
So he has failed by 1. So let's just see what the crash risk is. I think he might be okay on a 1 point. It's his first 1 point fail, so he's okay, but he gets a strike. Which means if he keeps rolling fails, even on a 1, he's going to have to make a roll. So next up is and I've just ticked the bike rider for that. Let's just take that off. Oh, he didn't fail by 1. He failed, I think, by 2 because he's got a handling penalty on his car.
Okay.
By the way, you can look in the. I should probably make sure you've got control of these, but there should be stats for the various vehicles. So I'm just going to make the Land Rover visible to all. All players can be edited by all players. So the Land Rover should have popped up. You'll notice its speed is fast but with a 0 modifier. Collision damage,
Right.
so if it hits something, it causes 2d6 damage.
Okay.
If it sideswipes something, it does 1d6 plus its velocity damage. Okay. You have no penalty for handling. It's 2 points worth of cover. Its defense is 10 plus the pilot's dexterity. It can fit 8 people. It needs to be driven by a driving focus, and it has 1 point of hull because it's a British Land Rover. It's one of the old green ones.
Right, yeah, of course it
So
is.
it's built like a tank almost. So it does have a point of hull, which is the vehicle equivalent of toughness. It means 1 point comes off the enemy's stunt damage if they score a hit on you. You will also need
Sorry, I just read what Mark put.
right. You'll also need the pickup truck, Land Rover, motorcycle. Edit this to all players. Save and show that. Now the motorcycle. This is what I forgot. Okay. Ben, the motorcycle has a fast +1 speed, which means every chase test you get to add +1 anyway. In the event of a collision, though, you only do 1d6 plus your velocity class, and Sideswipe does the same. It provides no cover, so if you get shot, you get shot.
Fair enough.
It's also very, very easy to handle. It's got +2 handling, which gives you another +2 on any piloting test, whether it's a chase test or just a standard drive test.
Damn.
So your
All
chase
right.
tests get a total of +3. The defense on it is 12 plus your. Why is it 12? That's a typo. Okay, let me just fix that. Oh no, it's not. It's not. Okay, so its defense is 12 plus your dexterity. It's got a capacity of 2. It needs to be driven with a piloting skill. It has a hull of 0, so if it gets hit, it doesn't get to mitigate the damage at all. Okay. It is unusually straight for a UK road, isn't it? I was going to add potholes, but I just literally didn't have time because Obviously, I was actually late to the game myself today. Okay, so I'm gonna
Late to his own game.
Right, you are. So that's the first. Is that everybody done for the first round?
Aye, mate.
So their bike. Have I rolled their bike yet? Let's have a look.
You said he was doing like interception or something like that.
Yeah, so I haven't rolled their bike yet. So this is for their bike. He gets +3 on his roll.
So if the bike's coming close to us, that would give Rav an opportunity to let one off, right?
I'm not sure I would go quite that far. I see what you mean. To fire at him, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, currently you're on 10 and the enemy's on 15.
Okay, they're quite
So
far away.
in that case, the answer would be no, not unless they deliberately drop back to fire at you. Now then, the bike.
What shooting range then?
The bike is going to throw something over their shoulder to try and cause you to crash into it. So he's flung something over. We'll count that as a missile attack. You would normally be out of range. We can either count it as a missile attack or you can count it as a hazard, which will give you a penalty on your drive roll next round. Which would you prefer?
Count it as a missile attack, because my defense is like 16, I think.
Okay, so we'll count it as a accuracy attack. Okay, so he throws a can of beans at you, of all things, right? As you're driving along. What the fuck is that? It looks like a can. Ah! And you zip around it and under. Like, Rab almost spills his ammunition as you zigzag, but realizes that like something's gone bouncing along the road after you, like behind you, that you're
That's
zipping
very funny,
past.
mate. If I drop one of these, some gun's getting it.
Okay, so back at the field, what is Thomas doing?
Sleeping, apparently.
Apparently. Mark, is that not normally your job? Sean, is Thomas doing anything?
Not at the moment.
Right, you are.
I'm just watching the lights in the distance.
You're just watching the light disappear in the distance. Right, you are. Okay.
Waiting for the blue lights flashing.
I'd like
lights
to do
start
something.
appearing.
Right, okay, then it is over to Chris. Chris, what would you like to do?
So like you said, we're probably dealing with the fire and that. So I'm gonna go over to our bunker and get a couple of supplies and then jump in a car.
Right, okay. So add whatever it is you're going to grab to your kit, and I will have you. It's a sedan, I take it you're driving.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you're just
Remember to
starting
lock
up
up.
now.
Jet we stole.
Locking up as well. Can I use a conviction point for haste?
Yes, you can. You can. Okay, take a conviction point off, and I will say that you rocket off and grab the first few things. You knew exactly where they were. You were planning it as you came rushing down the stairs into the bunker. You go over, you grab them, you come dashing out, lock the thing at a ridiculous speed, and as you're running across to where the car park, you blip blip, and the door unlocks. You dive in, start the car up in one, and vroom, off. So you're actually going to be on 0 instead of
But it's on the same
-1.
mode. I need to know if Thomas is coming or not.
You'll be passing them. So when it comes to you for your dice roll, we will see if you stop to pick Thomas up.
Okay.
Okay, so starting on round 2, could I have the pilot of bike A, please, which is Joe, I believe?
Indeed.
The enemy are
soon
roaring
as I
off
can
ahead
get
of you. Even the bike, which is at the back, is doing a good
Well, it would be a 16, but I only
16
got
is
1 on the stunt
pass.
again.
Okay. So you're tearing up the road, but you're kind of waggling a bit. You're not taking the best line, and you're struggling with this whole thing just a little bit. A little bit more than you'd like. So the enemy is starting to get away from you a little.
I'm annoyed.
Is Rab close enough to fire?
Rab is
No, you're
not
not.
close enough to fire at the moment. You'd need to be
Yeah.
within. Well, it depends what happens with bike 1. Actually, no. You are close enough to bike one to fire at them if you want to. The guy that
Fuck
just
my
lobbed a thing at you.
Guess who's firing then?
Okay, go ahead and fire. If you're uncertain for shotgun, you would be using your accuracy.
Accuracy, yeah.
Accuracy.
You okay, Jenny?
Yeah. I'm just laughing at what you said.
Okay, 12. So you fire boom, at the bike that's desperately trying to get away. So the bike has a defense. Or are you shooting at the bike or the pilot? Well, it won't be the pilot. It'll be the
back
passenger.
wheel of the bike.
You're shooting the what? Sorry.
Back wheel.
Shooting at the back wheel of the bike. Excellent. Well, not excellent. Not for them. So the defense would be 12 plus the pilot's dexterity. So the pilot's dexterity is 2. That means you would have needed a 14 to hit his wheel. So you've missed. You see rock salt go blasting across the road just behind the bike. Curse yourself slightly, but you get ready to try.
The guy shit himself.
Getting it.
Okay, the
wow.
Land Rover. Could I have the Land Rover pilot, please, which is Lizzy?
Yep.
You can see the lights of one of the bikes up in the distance as you go tearing off up the road. You have
Must
4
go faster, must go faster, must go faster.
You have 4 points of chase stunts. What would you like to use them for?
Hold on, just look at chase stunts. Chase stunts general or chase stunts for part 1?
Chase stunts general. We're in part 2 at the moment. Those special ones were for when we were on the electrified lines in the 20s.
Oh, that was ages ago.
It was. It's the very first adventure.
I know. We've came so far.
You have.
Right, can I use follow the leader for 2 and burst of speed for the other 2, which gives me a +1 bonus per point spent.
So it'll give you
for-
+2 on your next roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
So follow
Shit, I
the
have
wheeler.
burst
Make a
speed.
test with a TN you choose and an ability focus you work out with the games master, such as dexterity acrobatics, to slip through a small opening while on the run. If you fail, you crash. Anyone following you. It does suggest that that's supposed to be rolled by the person that's being pursued, but I'm going to allow it. So give me a. It'll be dexterity driving again. What you're going to have to do is come off the road and go across the ditch and then try and cut them off where the road bends round. So you're essentially trying for a shortcut. So I'm going to say the target number for that is probably not going to be that hard.
20.
It is going to be, 13 again, same as it has been for the rolls.
Okay.
So give me another roll, and if you beat 13, which you did by quite a bit, so same method. Slip through an opening while on a run. If you fail, you crash. Anyone following you using the same method. Okay.
Is that 6
Would
I'm going
quick
to
suggestion?
add- yeah.
Are you going to add those stump
Stunt
points?
points
to
was
the-
exactly what I was about to say. Yes.
Yeah, that
So-
was basically
So the Land Rover goes across the ditch at the side of the road. You go over a small log, but this is a Land Rover. It's designed for this sort of stuff. You're driving through rough land now. You come bursting out through a hedge. You almost knock Joe and Rab off their bike. You've come out right where they are, and you swerve sharply to the right so that you and Joe are now. Your vehicles are now side by side tearing up the road after this bike. Seeing his opportunity, Farmer Bill will open fire on this bike.
and blow Joe and Rab away.
And not that bike.
Friendly fire.
Yeah. Okay, so Bill, leaning out of the window, goes, "I have this, you bastards!" Boom! Fires the double barrel shotgun. Kaboom! 14, he's hit. Right, I'm pretty sure he's just hit the bike there. He has. So that's 2 points of anti-vehicle stunts. Let's see what he's... this is rock salt, though, so some of the anti-vehicle stunts might not be appropriate.
Applicable.
For instance, if there's one that says immediately annihilate the enemy vehicle with your high explosive rounds, I think we can pretty safely say rock salt is not going to do that. Pierce hull is no point. Shrapnel. The attack showers the vehicle's interior with damaging fragments. The operator and all passengers in the same compartment suffer D6 ballistic wound damage. Except it won't be ballistic wound damage. It will be ballistic stun damage.
Stunning.
For 2 stun points, or 2d6 for 4 stun points. Destroy a system. Right.
Quick question.
Right, no, he's going to do...
Where's he getting stun points from?
Right, that's how vehicle combat works.
Oh, right.
Vehicle combats are stunt attacks. They're not
stunt
standard
attacks. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get 2 points if you successfully attack a vehicle. 2 stun points, unless you generate stunts, in which case you get whatever you generated plus 2. Yeah. Sorry, I should have made that a little bit clearer, because it's just occurred to us you haven't done a lot of vehicle combat, so you wouldn't have known that. So
yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, my bad. So he's done 2 points of anti-vehicle stunts. He's going to destroy a system. You destroy one system on the target vehicle. It can be brakes, lights, weapons, or it can be the rear tyre. Boom!
Yeah.
The back tyre goes out. The bike now has loses its handling bonus and now suffers a handling penalty. From now on, instead of being a +3, there'll be a -1 on their piloting rolls. And he's rapidly reloading that chamber, so he's got still have 2 shots. I'll get you! I'll get you! He's leaning out the thing. Really, he's extremely pissed off. Don't worry, Daisy, I'm coming for you. Second thoughts, that probably wasn't the best way of phrasing it, but never mind. So that
he's not going to back down, is he?
He's not, no. So Sedan 0. So this is Chris, this is you.
Yep.
Sorry, Sedan A, I should say. So you come racing down the road. There's like a gravelly noise as you round the corner. You fling the door open as you see Thomas in the field watching the lights in the distance, and you yell, "You coming?" or whatever. You yell whatever you like. You go ahead and yell it.
I'm gonna do a signal before I open the door to see and flash the lights so that he looks the other way and see if
Okay.
getting in or not.
Okay.
Do you need a perception test to see this?
No, because you're not that far away from it. Also, you'll have heard the car come racing.
The car coming down the road.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to wave him on. I'm just going to be going, go, go.
Okay, I'll keep going. He would have been a better driver, but okay.
Okay, give me a dexterity driving test, please, as you join the chase. And this would be a fail by the look of it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear.
Well.
You've failed by 2 points, haven't you? So let me just have a look at what the crash effect is going to be.
Oh, no.
Crash, rural leg, failed by 2. The vehicle takes a hit from a low branch or some other debris in the road or by the side of the road. Suffer a 2-point vehicle stunt effect. Okay, so what happens is you go racing off. You take one of the corners a little bit too sharply, and one of the trees, you know how British rural roads tend to have, nobody's taking care of these bloody trees.
No.
And quite often the only thing that keeps them out of the way of the road is cars doing exactly what you've just done, which is hitting one. Bang!
Yeah.
You've got a branch that's come straight through the windscreen. It's shattered the windscreen, but you've torn the branch off completely. However, you've got bits of wood and glass flying around inside the car. You are going to take... I just need to bring that chase.
It's a lot for 2 points.
Well, that's just the narrative part. It's a 2-point chase stunt, so that's versus speed, effective.
Thomas is in the background watching this happen.
That's chase stunts, not vehicle stunts. That's where I've gone wrong. Okay, so it's, I think it's, what did I just read out before? There we go. Anti-vehicle stunts. Shrapnel, you take D6 ballistic wounding damage. Okay, so this is ballistic wounding damage. So your toughness doesn't count against it. No, fuck that, I'm going to say your toughness does count against it because this is safety glass in the front of your... So yeah, your toughness will count against this. 2 points of damage.
Okay.
As bits of tree branch and glass just shower.
Yeah, I probably ducked my head and I didn't get hit.
Right, okay. So you've got some minor
am I meant to see cars, by the way?
Sorry?
Or is it just a blank road?
Sorry, say that again?
Am I meant to see some cars, or is it just a blank? Okay.
We're just showing the blank road just to give you an idea of what the road looks like. That's just a section. There's curves and all sorts. I'm only going to bother to place the cars on if if it becomes a static fight instead of a chase. Otherwise, I'd have to have a rolling road, and I just did not have time to set up a rolling road. It requires a video map instead of a basic map. Okay, so that is you lot have all gone through phase 2. So that's 2 out of your first 4 rolls. So you're herring up the darkened country roads. And I've said it again, the darkened, not quite a B road. Is there anything any of the passengers who haven't acted would like to do?
Can I ask Bill if I can have a try with the shotgun, because I actually get, because I've got a power called Fast Fury where I gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls while in a vehicle.
Is it while in a vehicle? It's not the vehicle's weapons, it's any.
This is while in my vehicle, car, truck, whatever.
Okay,
etc.
give me a persuasion test. Bill's a bit reluctant to give up his shotgun. He wants to shoot at these guys. But he doesn't know an extra shooter would be but you're not really an extra shooter because it would have to shoot.
Oh, that was shit.
It's like, well then I won't be able to shoot, and just continues doing what he's doing. Sean, is there anything you're doing before I move on to the third chase test?
No, I'm just going to keep an eye on this guy.
Just keeping an eye on that guy, right? You are. He's currently bleeding and he's still slightly concussed. But it doesn't look like he's going to die from the...
Is it serious bleeding?
No.
It's just superficial scratches?
Yes, exactly. It's the kind of scratches you would expect somebody who came off his bike on a country road at about 20 mile an hour was the speed he was going when he came off.
So it's not that bad then?
It's not that bad. If he'd gotten up to the speed that everybody's racing off now, he'd have been in serious trouble. But fortunately, he was just kind of accelerating away when he got shot off his bike.
Right. Well, I'm gonna search through his pockets.
Right. Okay. Give me a perception search test with a +2 bonus, please.
While he's concussed and what have you. Perception.
Yeah.
17 in total with 1 stun point.
Okay, so you find everything he brought with him. So you found his wallet, which includes the stupid fucker's got his ID in it. He's got his credit card from which you can get his ID. He's got his phone on him. He's got a little bit of money. And he has a bike chain tied up in, well not tied up, but like wrapped up in the pocket of his bike jacket. I mean, in theory, it could be there in case his own snaps, but it's obvious he's carrying it as a weapon, really.
Yeah.
So how much money did he have?
He has. Let me just find that out.
Had.
Yes. He has one temporary resource point worth.
I'm not gonna take his cash.
Okay. Does also have his phone and his ID, as I mentioned, and his credit card, of course.
Right. Well, I'll take them off him and put them in a suitable pocket out of the way.
He's kind of a little bit too groggy to realise that you're like confiscating all his stuff. So he's like, thanks, it really hurts. He thinks you're actually trying to help his injuries, but you're not. You're just
No.
robbing him. So, have I rolled the bad guys driving this round, or have I not? I've not.
No, you haven't rolled for them failing yet.
I haven't rolled for them failing. So, starting with the truck that gets +3, the semi that gets +3 this round after the stunt it got last time. Let's make the driving roll for them. 13 to beat. 14 to beat because they're at a penalty for the thing. So 14 is exactly what they got. So you can see the truck is slewing across the road a bit. You think for a second it's going to jackknife, but it just manages to get control of it, and then he bends round a corner up ahead. And you think, damn it. So that's 21. So he didn't do a very great job of escaping in this round. I'm going to roll the pickup truck driver next. 14, yeah, he's fine, and he's roaring off. He's, whilst the truck's slewing all over the place, he like manages to zip past it and takes off. He's now in front of the truck. He's on 23. The bike, on the other hand, they're struggling because the back wheel has blown the tyre out when it got shot. So they're really kind of struggling to keep control of this a little bit. And not that much, to be fair. Even with his -3, that's still 16, so that's still a pass. He's got 5 stunt points he can use as well. So I'm going to whack him on 20 on his chase, which still puts him behind everybody else, which is where he wants to be, because he's essentially guarding the rear of the column as they try to escape. What is he going to do with the 5 stunt points that he got? He can't use them to get ahead of the... Since he is supposed to be the rear guard. He's going to do evasive manoeuvres again, so it's -2 to hit him. -2. Is he going to drive onto the map? Yeah, we're not really using the map, as I say. That's just there to give you a vague idea of what the road looks like. Attack on the move. Yeah, use theatre of the mind. Pretend you have an imagination. Attack on the move. You're kind of out of range now. Keep it steady until your next turn. Passenger's going to put... Well, he's out of range, so that's not going to help him much. Actually, if I don't use the evasive manoeuvres, I can use the interference. A character of your choice suffers -2 penalty on their next chase test, and that's what he's going to do. So, who's shooting at him? That would be everybody, really. So what he's doing now is he's just like lobbing shit out of his pockets and his backpack. He's just throwing things onto the roads to get in the way. So the vehicle, has to be one of the vehicles behind. So I am going to choose Joe's bike. These things are kind of bouncing up the road after you. So you're on -2 on your next chase test. Did you just draw a little car? Fuck's sake. Will it make you feel better if I put them on? I'll put them on if it'll shut you all the...
I'm fine with it.
Hold on, I'll have to dig them all out. So, for seeing we don't even need them in. Fuck's sake.
Just doing it to hear you swear as usual.
Why does everybody like my swearing so much? I'm actually struggling to remember which friggin' page it was on, so that's going to be a bit of a...
3.
Cattle
Page
field.
3.
There we go. Ah, damn it. See what you've gone and done? Now my thing's cocked it. Cattle field, come on. There we go. Okay. I'm sorry about the delay in the actual exciting part for those people watching at home, but my players are assholes. Dynamite lighting's not likely to be on.
Well, you know what
Dynamite Lighting.
Mark's title is?
I do, yes. I'm not sure we can say that on.
No, probably not.
Okay, so let me just bang this over.
Mister,
there.
isn't it?
It's Mister. Yes, we'll say that that's what it is, shall we? So I'll just drop that onto this level for you as well. It makes you feel better. So layer and tokens. There you go. There's a little truck. You happy now? Dickheads. I love them all, really. For those of you listening at home, I know it doesn't sound like it, but I do love my players, except, some of them.
Well, except most of the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, clearly he loves me.
Well, clearly I love
Well.
you. I married you. So rest on
But
the
is it
romance.
love, or does he just hate you less than everybody else?
Wow, harsh.
Don't worry, Marie. I'm sure it is real love.
Sorry, I nearly embroidered that on a coaster for him.
You totally should, though.
Considering one year I came back from Whitby with a present for him, and it was a sign that says beware grumpy old man, and he's over the moon with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's above what used to be my desk, which is now your desk, so I suppose I should take it back and hang it somewhere else. Might hang it over my desk at work, actually.
Mark, have you seen what he just said?
Oh, what's in now? The inside the truck, you colossal bellend. He's just doing it deliberately. Wind me up, isn't
Yeah,
he? He's
he
just
is.
doing it deliberately.
Just imagine them stood on top, going, woo.
Do you know what I don't understand, Jenny? Do you know what I don't understand? It's your 12th anniversary today. How did you get through 12 years without suffocating with a pillow?
Well, Mark was asking this earlier.
Okay, so I'm going to move the cows inside. Advanced.
God, no matter what he does, it's wrong.
Happy now, eh? Good.
I think I heard Mark in the background somewhere.
Yeah, he muttered something. Okay, so
Thing is, what you're
Where's
saying
my
is,
bike?
you've got beef, yeah? No?
Oh, God.
So where did we get to with me rolling dice for these guys? Have I rolled everybody?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Including the bike? Have I done the bike? Yes, I've done the bike. Okay.
Yep.
So that would be the players for your third roll. So bike A, please. Would you like to give me a roll, remembering the penalty you're at for things?
Perfect.
Ben?
Oh, sorry.
Fuck's sake.
God.
That would be a 15.
That would be a 15, so that's a pass. So you come herring up the road. You're now on 17. You're actually
That
catching
is-
them.
Ah.
That is as well.
You
the,
also got
second
6. You also have 6 points of stunts. What would you like to use them for?
Oh, that's the wrong stunt. I was like, ooh, anti-vehicle. I'll just use the anti-fuel line thing, but that's the wrong one. Chase stunt.
Chase stunts, yeah.
I'm trying to keep it steady. Sounds cool.
Attack on the move.
Yep, you're within range.
And it says you make a bonus melee or ranged attack. I don't have a weapon, and I ain't gonna ram anyone.
I will allow you. Will I? I will allow you to pass that extra ranged attack onto Rav if you want to, but you can use other stunts if you prefer.
So yeah, I'll use attack on the move for 3, so Rab gets to shoot someone.
Okay, Mark, do you want to make a shooty shoot?
And then can I use the final 3 for burst of speed?
You can, yes. So that gives you a bonus
So-
next round, if I remember correctly, doesn't it?
Yeah, +3 for every 1 SP spent.
Okay, yes you can. I'm just going to change this from cattle rustlers to Joe and Rab. Okay, so Rab's fired the shotgun. Boom! That bonus attack you just gave him has missed. However, that was a bonus attack, so Rab still gets his basic attack for the
Yay.
other barrel of the shotgun. He made another attack roll if you'd like.
I mean, he'd have to reload, wouldn't he? Because he fired one before.
Yeah, you've given him a bonus with stunts though, so
Oh, does that not?
it
Okay,
means
that's
he's
cool.
reloaded it and he can fire again. Okay, fires again. Boom! Another shot up the road that's done nothing at all.
Is that nice? Oh.
No, I'm scared though.
It's got them scared because at this point they don't even know you're firing salt because you've hit one, but they got left behind. They think he's been
Yeah, he
shot in
could
the
be
back
dead.
with actual shot. So yeah, they're scared shitless at this point.
Scared shotless.
Oh, yeah,
Aye,
scared
especially
shitless.
after they hear all of Rab's swearing,
Swearing,
profanity
yeah.
that he's shouting
More
at them.
deadly than his aim.
Yeah. Okay, so could I get a driving test for Lizzie, please, in the Land Rover?
Um.
18, that's a pass. However, you are lagging behind everybody a little bit now. You were neck and neck with the bike after that short.
I'm doing that bouncing over the steering wheel thing, going, I could run faster than this. Come on.
That was fantastic. Okay, so getting a little bit overly excited. You are coming up behind everybody else. I'll just drop you on there. Imagine that that this white thing is a Land Rover. Let's see if I can put a green filter on it at the very least. Give it a bit of a Land Rover-y feel. Yeah, it's not dark enough, but it'll do for our purposes. Okay, so the sedan. Could you
Knock off
give me
Land
a
Rover.
roll for the sedan, please, Chris? 15, and you're off. And you got 3 stunt points as well. So take a look at the chase stunts and decide which ones you would like to use as you put your foot down and roar off up the road. Still a little bit nervous about trees coming through the front windscreen, especially now there isn't a front windscreen. You've been buffeted in the face with flies and the wind that's been created by the fast-moving vehicle. But it's
big
kind of
shit.
exhilarating, you find.
Okay. I think I'll just go for burst of speed on all 3.
Burst of speed with all 3, so that gives you +3 on your next chase roll. Perfect. Okay. You're still a good long way behind them. Sean, is there anything you'd like to do before we go to the 4th chase test?
I'm trying
Well,
to.
Farmer Bill should actually get to shoot, I
You
think.
should, yeah.
Farmer Bill is going to shoot. He's still got the gun, hasn't he? So he's too far out now. The enemy's no longer close. Oh, no, they are. They are. 7. No, they are. They're just out of range.
Can
Just
I
out of
be
range.
looking around inside the Land Rover for anything that I could chuck at them?
Yes, aye. Give me a
Not me
search
cassette
test.
player.
Give me a search test.
Ryan, does the weapons range affect the distance at which you can engage in a chase at all?
No, for the purposes of a chase, you're kind of abstracting the distance, so it's just like 5 points means you're within shooting range. 2 points
Because I was
means
thinking,
you're within
because
punching range.
like the sniper rifles, they can shoot like over 1,000 yards. Some of them.
Sniper rifles are an exception. They do double the range in this, yes.
But also, for a sniper rifle, you need to be on a steady platform.
You do,
not jostling around, like.
Yeah.
You do, that's quite right. Okay, so Erin has passed. What would you like to have found that you can use as some kind of
bad.
improvised weapon?
Ooh, what would likely be in there? Oh shit! Has he got something like? What?
Yeah,
What are
there's
you
no shit
thinking?
in there, no.
there's not an RPG-7 just lying in the back, full bandstand.
Like a rocket launcher. Does he have anything like, I don't know, a screwdriver or a crowbar or something?
He's got a tire iron.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll hurt.
Right.
Okay.
So what are you going to do with the tire iron?
So you're gonna use a MacGyver-style maneuver. You're gonna pull up alongside and start taking the nuts out of the back wheel with the tire iron.
Well, my
No,
thought
don't hit him
was,
with the iron.
if we get close enough, I could just hit him round the head with it.
You stick it through the spokes of his
So
front
if you
wheel.
get within 2, then you can just twat him with a tire iron. Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Because I don't really want to chuck it, because it might end up hurting rather
Coming
than
back through the
kill.
windshield.
Yeah, there is that.
Okay, so we're on the 4th
Gonna live that
chase
down,
test. We're on the 4th chase test of this chase. That means no matter what, at the end of this roll, anybody who hasn't actually crashed or stopped will have left the rural back roads and will be on an A road.
Yay!
Much bigger road.
Is that a motorway?
No, motorways, funnily enough, are M roads.
Mm-hmm.
But A roads include big roads like dual carriageways and stuff. So
the main ones.
A63 and stuff like that. Main roads, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we are going to start with bike A. So that's you, Joe.
Okay, I get a +3 as well. So.
Okay.
Well, I'll be
That's
13
16.
+3
That makes
+3.
that a pass. Yeah. So you get to add 1. So you're
Oh,
on
joy.
18, which means you are catching up to all the enemy vehicles, which means, Rab, if you'd like to take a shot, you can. In
Come on,
fact,
Rab, shoot him.
wait a minute, before you do that, you're actually within hand-to-hand distance of the bike.
Mark's laugh.
So what would you like to do, Whispering Mark? I mean, turning your mic volume up might be a start. I can just barely hear you.
Just gonna shoot at the bike again,
Okay, cool.
rather than dramatically leap from our bike to his.
Missing.
Good point.
Missing and face planting the road.
Okay, Rab fires at the bike again. Make another attack with the shotgun.
Oh, for
Unfortunately,
God's
that's another miss. So you level your shotgun. The driver goes shit and like swerves around dramatically. So you go boom, and once again the rock salt scatters off the road in front. Well, at the side of the bike, missing. Never mind. Could be worse.
Should have just headbutted him.
Land Rover
There should
next? Land
definitely
Rover
there
next.
should definitely be a panic roll so he doesn't crash.
Should just have reached over, turned off the keys, and taken him out the ignition.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're kind of right up there at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Land Rover is Lizzy to go.
Okay. So you'll need a
Drive
thingy roll
test,
from
yeah.
me, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, my thing wouldn't stay up there, my character sheet.
That's okay. 15, that's a pass, and with 3 points, you're on 16, which brings your vehicle, or keeps your vehicle within range of the enemy bike and the wagon itself. So it's in shooting range of the bike or the wagon. So you'll be tearing up the road to about there-ish. I'm just going to move these guys over slightly. Well, not him so much.
So close to hitting him with a tire iron.
Yeah. So I'll just move you back because it's more like that. There we go. So Bill's going to level a shotgun at him and fire again.
Guy will be shitting himself.
Yeah, he will be. So he leans out of the window, levels the shotgun at the bike and goes, "For Daisy!"
Oh, God.
And did that roll?
Whoa.
Oh,
Triple
dear.
six. Oh,
So that would be a hit.
Don't mess with the farmers' cows, apparently.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm just.
Does that give him 8 stunt points?
It does give him 8 stun points. Shit. So, anti-vehicle stunts.
Well, you've got to go mobility kill, haven't you?
I think we have. Yeah.
Gotta go with fuel line, come on.
So, mobility kit, water, rock salt. You attack and destroy the vehicle's engine. The operator must make a TN-15 test to maintain control using the appropriate focus or crash. Even if they succeed, they must deal with a vehicle that can no longer move. Well, they're on a bike, so that's going to be pretty friggin' serious. She's going to do a mobility kill.
Is he able to do...
He could do 3 dent points as well, and make a -3 on their roll.
He could, or he could do shrapnel and hit both of them as well as another option.
With -2 on the roll, yeah, you could do that.
To handle -1 penalty test.
We've been outdone by an NPC. We're not needed anymore.
Okay, so I think we're going to do a 4-point shrapnel test against them. Yeah. So the guy.
And it's ballistic damage as well.
It is ballistic damage as well.
Well,
it's rock salt, so it's not. It's not wounding though. It's thing.
So the idea is to basically knock them off.
Yeah. So, the passenger on the back has been shot in the back and badly injured. The driver has been shot and badly injured.
Brian.
Yeah.
Have you rolled damage for the shotgun? Is that what one of those are?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've rolled the wrong thing.
Because I was going to say shotguns do 2d6 plus 6 plus perception. At least the double barrel does.
Yeah, you're right.
They
so, oh no, this is shrapnel damage though. So no, that's right. That is right.
That's just the shrapnel damage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, you do the shrapnel damage. You don't do the shotgun damage. The shotgun. That's the stunt attack on the vehicle. So the 2d6 is what they take. Okay, so they're both injured. They need a TN-15 drive roll. They're currently on -1. I'd imagine being shot probably gives them... Yeah, they've crashed. So they have they've crashed with a 5 on the stunt dice. This is pretty serious. So 5 on the stunt dice in the rural crash test.
The ditch.
The vehicle leaves the road and hits a tree.
Oh no.
Or an oncoming vehicle unconnected to the chase. Everyone in the vehicle suffers crash damage based on the vehicle's velocity crash. God. And the vehicle suffers stunt effects equal to stunt days.
Does it include the cows?
Oh, the cows aren't in the bike.
Oh no.
I can imagine a cow on the back of a bike. That would be fun. So he's gone like careening off the road and thump, bang, whap, right into the...
Does it burst into flames?
It doesn't.
No, it's not an
flames.
American bike.
Yeah, it doesn't burst into flames. What it does do, though, is crash into the tree. The tree takes some severe damage and starts to bend over as if it's about to collapse as well. And they both take another 2d6 damage, I think. Yeah, it is.
That's not too bad. It'll be fine.
Because that's their velocity class. And also the damage from the tree, which has a velocity class of 0, but it does add a dice, so it's 3. Bosh. Right, that's 9 to the guy at the back, and... shit, the driver's dead.
Oh no!
Shit.
Well, knocked out.
No, he'd been knocked out because 4 of the... 11 damage is wounding from the crash. But the previous damage he had wasn't wounding, so he's actually just unconscious.
Okay.
Right, so both the driver and the passenger are unconscious next to the bike, which is wheels are spinning and is embedded in a tree.
Does the other castle rustler see this?
The other cattle rustler might well see this, yeah. Not sure that it'll have a great deal of effect. He's already terrified and trying to get away from you lunatics.
So it's every thief for himself, is it?
It is,
Everyone
yeah.
just points to Bill and says it's his fault.
So the sedan, that would be you then, if you would like to make a roll, Chris, to drive.
Mhm.
Once you're on the A roads, your target numbers are going to drop significantly, by the way, because obviously A roads are much easier to chase people on. However,
I
crashes
should
become
know.
more serious because they're likely to be oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
+3.
That would be a pass with 3 points. So you're up to 6. You're still just seeing everybody else in the distance, really, at the moment as they go herring off up the road. Sean, is there anything you would like to do as the vehicles are now disappearing out of sight?
Well, there's not really a lot I can do at this point.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
basically I'll be somebody from the fire brigade. I take it has some sort of medical.
Yeah, you can call the fire brigade's. You can call the fire brigade's paramedic up, and he'll come and take a look at the injured guy. It's a little bit curious as to why injured guy is attached
Tied
to
up.
a tree and tied up. He's giving you kind of side-eye glances. Like, what the fuck is going on
You
here?
had a wild night.
Yeah.
It's well, basically I'm going to explain. This guy's actually a cattle rustler. The fire was a distraction, so they was down there stealing cows in the field from this farm.
Right.
So he's restrained until the police get here.
Got you.
And
Right.
that's why his back's full of rock salt.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a
that's the farmer
serious-
shot him.
It's a serious thing, stealing cattle in this day and age with all the rationing and so forth.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take a look
Farmer
at him.
kill.
Make sure he's.
He fell off a motorbike further on down there.
Yeah, I can see why he fell off and all. There's a lot of rock salt in him, but we'll call that
Misadventure.
Misadventure. Yeah, that's what we'll call that. That sounds about right. Let me just take a quick look at him, and with that, I'm going to use this guy's intelligence, but with +2, just so I've got a thing handy to roll. 11. So yeah, he's managed to patch him up a bit and stop the bleeding. Says, yeah, we'll probably best get you looked at, Sunshine. I'm going to call an ambulance, though. The captured cattle listeners said, no, I don't want an ambulance. So we're going to have to get you an ambulance. I think you might be concussed. And he fingers him holding up, he like flicks him the V's.
Give him his name.
It's 4. Yeah, we're definitely going to need to get you seen by an ambulance. I'm just going to call an ambulance, find out where the police are at as well. As should be here by now.
Call the police.
Yeah.
So Sean might want to.
And it's at this point that Rob's going to exit stage left at mention of the police being on Norway.
You wouldn't hear.
This is back at the farm. Yeah.
Rab's got superhero when it comes to the police getting called.
Yeah. So you're several miles away now. You've been each dice roll was 5 minutes worth of chase. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 minutes you've all been tearing through the back roads at about
30 plus mile an hour.
Yeah, 30 plus mile an hour. So
You've got no chance.
you've got no chance of hearing it. But you're also nowhere near it. So when the police do turn up, you're not going to be there. There's nothing to worry about. I mean, you might get caught on the main road, and
see if he'd been a pig farmer.
Yeah.
What cattle rustlers?
I mean, we'll be fine, yeah.
I'm just going to check. So we're on to the semi-rural leg of the chase.
Also,
This-
Mark, you're on the back of a motorbike.
Yes.
So I'm not
Fucking
sure where you
bails,
would go.
jumps off.
Yeah.
No.
With a shotgun.
With a shotgun.
At least leave the gun yourself.
I'll shove the shotgun through the spokes of my own back wheel.
Blame it on somebody else.
So this leg of the chase begins 4 tests after the vehicles start. The larger vehicles are no longer at a disadvantage here. Driving here is much easier, although there are other cars on the road still present, so there is a slight risk. So the target number for driving on this part of the road at the speeds you're going is a TN11 test from now on. Each test represents
That's fine.
5 minutes of chase time. If the rustlers can reach 25 success points, they make it to their home base.
They're almost there.
Just a sec. Anyone within 5 chase points of them when they do will be able to see where they go. Anybody between 5 and 8 away will only see where they go with a perception test. Anybody 9 points away won't see them at all. The crash risk here is small, but if it happens, it's more serious. Head start. All vehicles enter this part of the test with a success pool 10 points lower than they left the previous one, to a minimum of 0. So, the wagon's now on 11, the bike's on 10, the pickup's on 13, your bike is on 8, your Land Rover is on 6.
They don't have a bike.
What do you mean they don't have a bike?
It crashed.
Oh, they don't have a
we're
bike.
the
No,
only
you're quite
bike
right,
left.
they don't. Yeah, they don't. Let's cross that off. Sedan would be on -4, but it does say here rounded up to 0. So, I'll be back in a moment. I just need to dash to the little Games Master's room. And once I get back, we'll pick up on the second part of the chase. Just chat amongst yourselves for a moment. I'm just going to record, edit 1:27, 32, bathroom break.
What do you think I should do if I'm that far behind?
May as well
Pedal,
continue.
pedal down. Slam the hammer down. Drive hard after them. I don't know. I mean, what do you do?
Could seeing as Jenny's not able to do much in the vehicle at the moment, could she maybe call? No, bad idea.
I mean, that wouldn't make any difference. Like, yeah, I'm not. No. I mean, it's up to you. If you think you're not going to be able to catch up at all, then you could always head back. But
I'm not exactly trying to catch up to help with the catalysts. I'm trying to catch up so just in case something happens.
I mean, maybe you could.
I have your weapons.
Maybe you could keep following us and then check on these guys here.
Did you bring my big gun with you?
I was in a rush.
You know.
You better not get caught by the police for that fucking 50 cal.
No, I've got your bow and everyone else's weapons.
Yeah, but we're not really wanting to actually use weapons on them.
No, I'm saying we'd use the weapons in case something else appears.
Right. Oh yeah, if there was a beastie appeared or something, then yeah. But I think maybe you could check on these guys, make sure they're not dead, and restrain them until they can be dealt with.
I just got to the highway as well, so I'd have to turn back.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, it's still an option though.
Uh-huh.
The only other thing is to keep going on after us. I mean, really, it's up to you. I think any of those options are fine, to be honest.
Otherwise, there's not much to do. It's a very... Yeah.
Well.
Unless some of us plays the cattle rustlers. Well, I'm checking on that guy.
I mean, I guess you could ask. I'm just trying to think. I suppose if you're at the back, you might be able to see if there's any attracting the attention of any creatures as well, or something.
Right then, hello, I am back. I just realised I need to transfer the thingy thing over. I don't know, where is it? Actually, where is it? we seem to be missing the track for the complications. There we are. There can't be that many already, surely, good God.
We did get 2 more today as well, didn't we?
You did, that's why I need to update it.
Oh, is it getting higher? Oh, come on, Spermosaurus.
Okay, so complications, here we go.
Maybe I should have brought my gun then. If we do end up fighting one of those.
Okay, yeah, I don't think you've actually fought one of those yet, have you? You threw a petrol bomb at one once and then drove away.
Imagine it was still on fire.
Yeah, it was running around on fire.
2 years later, still
Yeah.
on fire.
Okay, so section 2 of the chase then, and everybody comes into it 3 points lower than you left the last time. Sorry, 10 points lower than you left the last one. And if the enemy gets to, did I say 20 or 25?
25.
25, then they have made it to their home base. So, let us begin. And I'm actually going to start in the reverse order this time, so I'm starting with the baddies. So, let me begin with their main wagon, which is now at the back and doesn't, I think it's at the, yeah, that should be the front. So these two vehicles are the wrong way round. Let me just fix that. This thing should be at the front of the convoy. This thing should be at the rear. The problem you've got now is if you're behind them, you can't really fire at them without hitting the cattle. So you need to get into a position where you can see past the trailers that the cattle are on. And even then, you want to be very careful, because if you cause them to crash, the cattle you're trying to get back are going to get injured as well.
Is it like a steak body truck, is it?
Was it what?
Is it like a steak body truck where you can, like, it's got slits in it and you can see the cattle? Or is it like...
Well, there's a
Silver.
horse box on the back one, so you can definitely see the cattle in that one. The other one's just a standard wagon,
Okay.
so no, you can't see the cattle that are in there, but you know there were 2 loaded in before he took off, and he hasn't stopped to let them out. You don't think the cattle have, like, James Bonded it out the back of the car at any point.
Man, can I get a dexterity to dodge a cow flying out the back?
Okay, so starting with the wagon, which is leading the thing, no longer has its penalty. It is 17 and plus 5, so he's off up the road. He's happier now. He's driving on an A road. He's tearing off up the road in the centre lane. Hog, don't you hate them?
Terrible.
As if being a cattle rustler wasn't bad enough. He's hogging the central lane. What can you say?
Too far.
It is too far. It should be laws. Next up, we have the pickup truck, and it will come back to me what we call them. So let me just make it drive. It's really bugging me that. 14, so he's passed as well. He gets another. Oh, hit 5 in there as well. So the pickup truck.
We're just going to have to roll a 6, clearly.
Yeah. There you go. So.
I mean, maybe at this point we'd be best off just following them to the base and then dealing with them there.
Absolutely not. They will be shot.
Okay.
Wow.
So, your bike. So, Joe, it's you to go. Give me a dice roll. Tell me what happens.
Faster.
Oh no.
15.
12 is a pass. 15 is
We
a
have
pass.
15 because I got a
That's
plus 3.
3, so you're on 11. So you're still within shooting range of the enemy, and you could pull out one side or the other so you get a shoot across at the vehicles. However, you've got to be careful not to cause a crash. So what would you like to do, Rab?
I mean, you could, if he does end up damaging the vehicle, he could do a dent which won't crash it, or he could do a slowdown. I mean, that would be good. Anything like that if he does end up damaging it.
When is it going to run out fuel? Because remember, it's leaking fuel this
It is
whole
leaking
time.
fuel, but you do have a large tank on the
Yeah.
on these things, and you've got a reserve tank. So it very much depends, but it is one of the complications that can occur to them. And one of the crash results that can happen can be they just run out of fuel and stop.
Right, okay. Well, then that might be something.
Yeah.
If they just come to us, try and get them to come to a stop.
Yeah.
It's the large wagon that's currently bleeding fuel, and it is slowing down a bit. So what you've got a shot at is the pickup truck behind. So if you'd like to take it, make a roll.
May as well. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he's had
Wow.
no luck with
You've
shooting
had
this.
Yeah, so you fire around, it goes clear across the top of the... At the last minute, you kind of put off your
Get a
aim
pop
by
out.
something, and you boom, just straight across the top. And misses entirely. Okay, so that would
Imagine
be
him absolutely freaking out at this point.
But the police are gonna come after us because there's gunshots all over at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the police are probably going to respond to like people raging up the an air road
Shooting at
blasting
each other.
shotguns at one another. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
God, we are fucking mental.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Have you noticed what I have to deal with now? Yes. Okay.
This is why I said to just follow them, but you know, never mind.
Yeah. So Lizzie, it's you to go with your driving skill on the Land Rover.
Okay.
11 is your new target. So yep, you've passed, but you're actually dropping behind them, if anything. Bill's yelling like, you're losing them, get your foot down, woman. We're coming, Daisy. Okay, Chris in the sedan, would you like to give me a driving roll as well now, please?
Well, I'm actually thinking of maybe stopping before the motorway to check on these guys, but I don't know yet.
Still not a
don't know,
motorway,
sorry.
still just an air road. But yeah, you can stop and capture these guys instead if you prefer.
It's a road I don't drive, it's just a road. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Okay, so you're going to stop and check on the two guys that hit the thing. One of them is completely unconscious, and the other one, let me just check, is also completely unconscious. You check and they are definitely alive, but one of them's... He looks in a very, very bad way. He's like lucky to be alive. And if he hadn't been wearing a helmet, he wouldn't be. Whereas the other guy's kind of sparked out behind him, and you can hear him go,
An attempt to stabilize them.
Yeah, go for it. Give me an intelligence... medical check, please.
I've only got biology.
Just intelligence then, please. 11 or better you need. Okay, so you've managed to triage the situation. You know that neither of them are actually any danger of dying, but one of them is quite seriously injured. He does have some broken bones. So you managed to get him as comfortable as possible. You managed to check the other guys okay, get him as comfortable as possible. You make sure everybody's airways are clear. And you're wondering about going back for the paramedic with the thing when you hear sirens in the distance and blue lights flashing.
Can I also ask, how's the bike?
The bike hit a tree, so the bike is not in a great condition.
It's fucked.
It's fucked, yes.
That's the technical term.
Right, I'll check the bodies when I'm allowed to.
Okay, you can check that when we get back to you then. So that was the first...
Wait, I want to know about these sirens. They're coming our way, I'm guessing. Or are they coming
No,
up the
they're
air
heading
road?
back towards the farm. No end. In fact, they've torn past you, vroom, 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 right? But it was before Rab levelled a shotgun at anybody, so nobody was paying attention to anything at the time. They've zipped off past.
And these were the police, not the ambulance.
Both, police and there's an ambulance
Okay.
as well, coming up the road now. Nina.
Alright.
Obviously, it's an ambulance from the fucking 1970s, apparently, but I can't do even the remotest version of the modern ambulance thing because
You're losing your talent, man. I always thought of you as the person who could do all siren impressions.
You're thinking of Matt Mercer. Bit like me, but not as handsome, so, sadly. Thanks for the laughter, you bunch of twats. Okay, so that is the first roll on the second leg of things. Sean, anything you're doing? You're going to hear the sirens approaching now?
No, I'm just going to be waiting for the authorities to show up.
Right, you are. You wait for the authorities to show up. They'll be there in.
Oh, that's what it sounds like.
Is that a sound effect or is it a siren just like fortuitous?
No.
It was a sound effect.
I mean, I know it happens so often in Stanley that Marie and I now refer to police car sirens as the Stanley Town Band.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And honestly, it's not as rough as you would imagine from that statement round here. Has its moments. Do keep winding up on the news because like teenagers are rioting through the front street. But honestly, most of the time there's hardly any murders.
Hardly any.
Hardly any, yeah.
The odd one, just to keep things interesting.
Well, quite, yeah. Okay, so second round of tests, and let's see if the wagon in the front can stay in the front. Oh, he's doing a drivey drive. 17. That's 4. So he's at 20. Oh. So he's like racing up the road. You see, suddenly swerves across a lane of traffic. There's other vehicles swerving to get to not hit him as he pans down onto one of the off ramps to try and get try and turn off to somewhere else. He's getting off this main road. He almost caused an accident with some other drivers, but he's done that last minute swerve across the other lanes deliberately to try and throw you guys. Not going to have any effect beyond narrative though. So the pickup truck that's racing along behind him, it's got to try next. 18 and with 5 stunt points, so he is out in front again. He's gone racing past the other wagon. He's determined that if anybody's getting caught by you bunch of fucking nutcases, it's going to be his mates and not him. That's his decision.
That's nice.
He's off, and he also has 5 points of chase stunts, so let's see what he's going to use them for. Evasive manoeuvres, because he's sick of getting shot at, so he's -2 to be hit on the next round, because he figures it's only a matter of time before you guys get your eye in. And now he has 3 more left. He's going to make an attack of his own, so he leans out the window and throws something at you.
Molotov.
Not being Molotov, he didn't come armed, but
Grenade.
it'll be something. It didn't come armed.
C4.
So he's going to throw. I don't know. What would you find in the
A
front?
banana.
A banana. I think he's going to throw a banana.
It's like Mario Kart.
Okay, let's think now. He's lobbed a. I know what he's lobbed. He's lobbed a bottle of water at you in the hopes it'll hit the driver of the bike.
Is this the guy in the big lorry?
No, it's the guy that's in the smaller vehicle you've been shooting at.
Oh, I was going to say if it was the guy in the lorry, he could be an Amazon driver. He could be like lobbing a bottle full of piss at you.
Well, that's lovely. That's an image that I'll.
Do Amazon drivers often lob bottles full of piss at you, Ben?
Happens more than you think.
Okay.
I'm just going to be over here.
Okay,
I
so
don't think about Amazon drivers with
Please don't
bottles
share
full
your
of piss.
fantasies online.
Ben, what's your defense? Sorry, no, I
Higher
don't
than
need
that,
your
it's
defense. I
16.
need your dexterity.
My dexterity is 4.
Shit. So you're on a bike, which means the bike's defense is 16, which means this guy has missed. That bottle of water's just burst on the tarmac behind you.
Wasting water, you wanker!
Okay, Joe, you to roll.
Roll, blow, let's go. Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, nice one. 6 stunt points as well. What would you like to use them for?
that complication pool.
Oh,
Oh,
stop.
Well, obviously it's going in the complication pool.
Chase dance. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba. I'm gonna use keep it steady, so Rab gets a +1 when making attacks,
Okay.
and then I'm going to use. Ooh, what's that? Well, that's not what I was thinking. I thought follow the leader would help people along, but it doesn't. Sit through a small open when you run if you're failing. Oh, well, that's. I'll just use burst of speed for a +3 next time.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to burst of speed next round as you go herring off up the thing. You're within 3 of them, so you're doing quite well here. He's using the other truckers cover though, so you're now in an awkward position. That although you're keeping it steady and Rab will get a bonus to hit, he can't get a shot because he's got the truck on one side, which is full of cattle, and he's got their trailer which has got a cow in it on the other. He could actually get a shot at the at the tractor of the semi, but he can't actually hit the vehicle he's been shooting at. Rab, what would you like to do?
Fucking kill him in!
Are we coming up along the side of the lorry, or are we still behind it?
I mean, you could come up the other side actually.
So if we come up the side, and I can just basically use my shot to fire at the front wheel or at the engine housing or something.
Okay, well I'm going to say the engine housing because then you can slow it. If you take the front relight, it might crash and kill the cattle inside. If you take the engine out, it's going to kind of trickle to a halt.
That's 15 with 6 stunt.
That's a hit, and you've got 6 stunt points.
More like it.
So it's vehicle stunts you need to look at. Anti-vehicle stunts, I should say. And you already get 2, so that's 6 points becomes 8 points of stunts to spend.
Jeez.
Well, the fuel, so I've got 8.
You've got 8, yeah.
Bloody hell. Go on. So you just start off with 2 anti-vehicle stunts?
Yeah, because
yes.
you automatically have 2 stunts when it's vehicle combat.
Oh, okay. That's really
and
cool.
then you can add on any stunts that you actually generate.
Yeah.
No, I was just asking because I had that thought in my head, and I was like, I know I get a +2 to anti-vehicle stunts, but I don't know where it was from, and it was driving me mad.
Ah, right. It's because any attack against a vehicle
driving
doesn't
you
roll
mad,
damage.
yeah.
It just does 2 stunt points for anti-vehicle stunts.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right. What I'm going to do is I'll put 3 points into dent.
Right.
Which leaves 5.
Yeah.
4 will go into mobility kill.
Shit. Right.
It's a TN 15 test with -3.
Yeah. Okay, so he's at -3 on all rolls. Damn.
How many? So what? You have 1 point left.
1 point left.
Yeah.
I suppose you just have to put into Pierce Hole, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll put that in the Pierce Hole.
Okay, your attack penetrates a vehicle is exceptionally tough. Out of shell, if a vehicle has a hull rating, you must spend stunt points equal to it on this stunt before spending other stunt points. It doesn't, so you don't need to worry about it, but you'd have a point to spend anyway. So you blam through the engine block of the thing. Let's see if he can. Right, I don't fancy his chances. He needs to beat 15, but he's got -3, so I'm going to add that to his target number for ease of calculation.
18.
18. So he's going to need to roll 18 or better.
Good luck.
Nah. So as you blast through the front of the engine block, that coupled with the fact that he's running largely on fumes from the fact that his fuel line's damaged, he just starts coasting to a halt. So stopped.
Yay.
I'm going to put a big X on this just to show that it is stopped.
Caught in a fiery inferno.
It's stopped. It's not on fire. I can't put a big X on that because it won't let me go over that far to see the... Well, that's shite. Okay. We'll just assume it. It's stopped. You've fired at it. It's come... there's steam coming out of the engine. There's smoke and things rattling as it just clunk, 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 clunk.
Just change its colour to red.
I could change its colour to red, actually, yeah. So, just change its tint. There we go. Okay, so you've managed to capture the large wagon with the bulk of the cattle in, so there's only one cow escaping at the moment, and it's the Land Rover's turn to go.
I'm guessing Bill's probably going to want to stop with
Yeah,
the
we're going
cattle or in...
slaughtering.
I don't know, I mean, I might be wrong, because there is still one
There's
left.
still another cow. He knows
Does
you
Joe
guys
want to
have
stop?
got-
No.
Yeah.
We've got control of that now, so he just wants to get the other guy caught.
Yeah,
Right,
fair
so
enough.
we still chasing then, yeah?
Yeah, then...
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
That's more like it.
Not bad.
Good
That
roll.
is more like it, and you have 4 stunt points as well.
So use them all just to boost the speed.
Okay, which means, well, you can use 3 of them for that. That gives you +3 on your roll next round. Or, let me just have a quick check. So, general chase stunts. You're close enough for that? You aren't? No, okay. Yeah, it looks very much like your... you could... No, you don't have enough for that. Yeah, it's going to have to be a burst of speed. So +3 on your next chase roll. Okay, so as the chase is starting to come to an end, as you're kind of catching up on the last of the enemy vehicles that's escaping, as they've brought the large truck to a stop, it is time... I'll just cross the wagon out because it's stopped. It's time for the pickup truck to try and get home safely. Let's see if he can.
Fail.
He hasn't. He's made it.
Ah, bollocks.
Fuck's sake.
So the pickup truck's home. Nobody's close enough to necessarily see him.
Ah.
It will depend on this set of rules to see. So he's like
How
gone
far
off
away
down
are
the...
me and Rab?
Well, you're on the other side of the main truck at the moment. You've got to get round that, then you've got to come down the off ramp, round the. I don't know what you would call that. It's not a roundabout as such, but you know what I mean when you come off off ramp from an A road.
Yeah.
There's kind of lots of interchanging things. There's a lot of different routes that people could go. So, excuse me. You are. Actually, you're not that far. So, are you still pursuing or are you stopping?
Yeah. Yeah,
Still
we're
pursuing?
pursuing.
Okay, give me a dice roll then, please.
What kind of dice roll?
Standard drive test.
Oh, a
Standard
drive
chase
mode.
test. Yeah.
That would be +3 again because I had burst of speed. +6.
+6. That's a pass. So you got 20. So as you come, you miss the off ramp, right? Because you didn't see him take it.
Over the
You
ledge.
like, oh no, because the wagon you're coming around had already taken it. Right? Okay, you don't miss the off ramp at all. You come out and for a second you're like, shit, I don't know where they've gone. And then it occurs to you, you can see up 2 of the roads. There's only one you can't see up, and since you can't see him, he must have gone that way. So you turn down that road and roar up it. In the distance, you're just in time to see him turn into an industrial estate, and you realise that's where the fucker's gone. He's in that industrial estate.
At this point, we're going to slow down. We're not going to make the engine, we're going to keep it quiet and we're going to sneak. We want to find his house, so we're going to be sneaky. You know what I mean?
Well, it's an industrial estate, so you'll not be looking for his house. You'll be looking for which industrial unit he's in.
Okay.
Which abattoir he's taking the cow
You don't want to get too far behind because you need to see where he goes.
I thought had the wrong image of an industrial estate.
Ah, right, okay. You thought it meant a housing estate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to Google what an industrial estate.
Industrial estate is a place that has industrial units, so
Yeah.
like small
Like
factories, small manufacturing
Greencroft.
places, like Greencroft, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They might also have some shops, some trading areas, but it's usually the kind of business that makes stuff and then sends it somewhere to sell, rather
There's
than
one right here, near here.
there is. It's where the post office is, isn't it? The sorting office, rather.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, there's another one as well.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there is
Yeah.
actually. There's another one just over. Yeah, it's surrounded by the
Yep,
damn things.
Villarreal around that
You've
area.
got Villarreal as well as Morris and Busty. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Cool.
where am I?
Manly.
So I am. Yeah. So the Land Rover. Could I get a roll from Lizzie, please? See if you can
Yep.
catch up enough to spot where this guy's gone.
Get a 6.
Oh
What,
wow,
5?
5.
Okay, 5. So that puts you on. Yeah. Okay. So you're just close enough that you can get a
Does that
roll.
include my +3 from my stunt points from the last round?
Right. Okay. Yeah, you can get a perception roll then.
Mhm.
With that +3, that would mean that you get a straight perception roll with no penalties.
My perception's rubbish anyway.
That's okay.
Do all of us get perception in the
Everybody
vehicle?
in the car can actually, yes.
Okay. Same.
Same. Okay, let's have a look if Bill spots it. So that would be perception. Okay. So he's looking in the wrong direction. You guys, however, I'm just going to double check, but I have a feeling you've spotted him. I think that's large enough for the target number. Let us see. Rural catches. So we go. Complications. We never got complications.
Oh, never mind.
Let's start crash risk. Rural leg. Here we go. Nobody crashed in the rural leg either. Shame. They're really nasty, those ones.
No one had a horrific car crash. Shame.
What can I say? I'm a terrible person. I kind of can't. No, that's not. Here we are. Right. So the target number for the perception test was 13. So both the driver and the unarmed passenger have noticed, but Bill hasn't. You spot. You don't actually see them at first, but you see Joe. So you drive down, following Joe, getting closer and closer. You realise he's slowing down, and you think, "Oh, that's odd." So you kind of look around, and up ahead on the left, you can see an industrial estate.
Mhm.
You can't see the car anymore, but the only place it could have gone now is onto that industrial estate.
Okay.
So it's definitely in there somewhere. So you've got them cornered.
Yeah.
Also, you've got the other wagon stopped on the
Yeah, on the road.
on the road. So what are you doing?
You're just talking shotgun ready.
I have a scenario for mine when we're ready as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we? I've got an idea. Could we drive past and then sort of see if there's a back entrance into this industrial estate that we could use? Because if we drive past, they might think they've gotten away with it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Okay. Chris, what was your thing you were going to do?
So you said the stable, yeah.
Yes.
Is one of them awake? Yeah.
No, neither of them are awake.
Right, I'm going to rub the sternum of the one who is slightly in the best condition
Right.
to wake him up,
Yeah.
or try to.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to mildly threaten him to tell us where they were heading.
Where what? Sorry.
where they were heading.
Okay,
They get
give me a
extra
strength intimidation roll. So you've woken him up.
Just
He's kind of
imagine him.
groggy even. Kind of groggery. What the fuck does that mean?
Just imagine he wakes up to you gently rubbing his chest.
That's how you wake people up when they're knocked out.
Wake up.
I'll take your word for it.
Your word
It's
for
how,
it.
it's how you wind up on a register, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You've up the sternum to wake them up. I've seen it in doctor shows.
I've no idea. You could be
I
right.
saw it on X-Files.
But
It must
mine
be
was
true.
funnier. Okay, so let me just bring up because I've just literally this second just gone and closed these guys, and now I need them again. So it is rustlers.
I have to wonder how you mildly threaten them.
Well,
I'm gonna hurt you a
Got
little
your
bit.
weapons with me.
Yeah. He's not
Well,
lunging over him with blood dripping off a knife going, tell me or I'll cut your bollocks off. He's not doing that. It's more
Trying to
like
be innocent and as you
it
guys
would be
with your
wise
dirty
if you
brains.
told us what you know type of thing. Okay, so let's see if they resist. They need a willpower self-discipline. Sorry, willpower courage roll. They haven't got courage. So they've scored 12, which is the same as you. So it goes to a tiebreaker. Both your stunt dice are the same. So the next level of tiebreaker is whose base stat is higher. So what's your strength?
2.
The willpower is 1. So he's kind of, at first he holds out a little bit, but you kind of loom in. Just enough to like flex your muscles and look threatening, and he's like, what was the question?
I want to know where they were heading. The address.
Okay, we're based at the industrial estate out by Cramlington Way. It's and then he gives you the street address. I don't actually know what the industrial
Is he
estate
gonna
there is.
Is he gonna give me the lot number? Yeah.
He'll give you the lot number as well, aye.
Okay. I'm gonna at that point I'll message everyone of our group chat or whatever and let them know
Right,
exactly which they're in.
Okay, so as you're driving round, Bill notices that like nobody is looking after the cattle that are in the other truck.
No.
So you drive round the back and you find another entrance, a rear entrance, but Bill is like, if we're all here, who's got the cows in the truck? Fuck's sake, drop me off back there.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. So you drive back round and come up, you've got to go over the overpass and then down the off ramp, then you've got to go over again and down, and you come back up, pull up, dangerous maneuver on an A road, but it's night and this is the early stages of the apocalypse, so a lot of people are under curfew. As you pull up next to the wagon, Bill hands Erin the shotgun, said, I best not be caught with this. Then jumps out and opens the truck door where like the terrified driver's still sat there, and he goes, on the other hand, Erin, would you like to point that shotgun at this fucker's nose, please?
I will oblige.
Right, you oblige, and he puts his hands in the air, and Bill goes, I have a good idea, sunshine, fuck off out. It runs across the road trying to get away.
I'll
No.
see. I'll follow him with the shotgun and say, I wouldn't run if I were you. Stop where you're going.
Right, he gets about onto the hard shoulder and sticks his hands in the air.
Yeah, I'll say, get down on the ground with your hands behind your back.
Right, can you give me a perception and hearing test, please?
Okay.
Oh, it's the wee woos. It's the Rosses.
I'm just going to move the vehicle that's not
18.
currently in this part of the scene.
The pole.
Okay, so as you're saying, I suggest you get down. You hear the squealing of brakes
Oh,
because there's
Okay.
two vehicles stopped in the middle of the road here. And as you look round, panicking, thinking, "Shit, I'm standing in the middle of an A road," and you see a car swerve to avoid you, and splash, hits the guy that you,
oh
that you had at gunpoint and just throws him over the bonnet.
Oh no.
Bounces off the road. Boomf, boomf, boomf.
Oops.
The guy that hit him kind of looks, like screeches to a halt, looks round and goes, "Fuck! Shit!" and then just puts his foot down and drives off.
Little fuck. Right, okay. I'll run over to the guy who's just been ran over and check on him.
Right, you hear Bill going, Aaron! Aaron!
What?
Put the
What?
fucking gun in the car! If you're gonna be...
Shit, okay.
I'm
I'll
gonna
do
go.
that
Lizzie,
bit and then I'll...
go!
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Right, so you pull off,
Well, I'm gonna go.
and Aaron, you're now on the hard shoulder, which is exactly where this guy was when he got hit by a car.
Yeah, I'll
Bill
be,
flicks the hazard lights on in the wagon.
I need to check on this guy, make sure he's not dead.
Yeah.
But Lizzie will have the gun anyway in the car. So.
Okay, give me a roll. Give me a intelligence medicine roll, please.
Okay.
Because this guy's just been hit by a car at 50 miles an hour, so the chances are he's dead.
Yeah, he's probably dead, yeah.
However, if you roll stunts,
She did.
you did. Okay. Okay, so he's critically injured. He's dying, but because you're a paramedic, you are able to stabilize him. But he is
Okay.
going to need an ambulance really fucking quickly.
Right, okay.
Meanwhile, you're also going to have to explain what you're doing with a stolen truck and some cattle.
And why that truck has like a giant gunshot hole in it?
Yeah.
Well, I
It's
mean,
fucked.
it's Bill's, so, you know, that can be explained.
It's his car, his cows, and they were stealing them.
Mhm.
Well,
We
the
chased them
the
down the
vehicle's
road. We
not his.
chased them down the road.
The vehicle
Yeah,
isn't
but-
his, the cows are.
Well, yeah, it's the rustlers' vehicle, so,
I hope
you
a
know.
farmer could do this in real life.
Right. What I'll have to do is call an ambulance for this guy.
Right, you are. You call an ambulance. Bill's kind of stuck. He's in the middle lane. He doesn't
Yeah.
really dare get out to try and fix the vehicle. He can't get it pulled over to the. Well, actually, I'm going to give him a try. The thing's mostly out of fuel, which is spilled all across the.
Yeah.
Um,
You
the
might
thing.
have to wait for one of us to come back the way, and then you could go back and get a vehicle to transport the cows in or whatever.
Well, he could use his tractor, except for one slight issue.
It's fucked.
It's fucked because some knacker set at the lights.
Does he not have any other vehicles that could transport the cattle?
Yeah, he will have some. Well, I suppose. Yeah, he must.
Would he
have
not
some-
have a horse box?
He'll have like a cattle truck. Yeah.
Okay, well, for now, he's just going to have to wait until.
It's
until
just
he can
a
get
touch
lift,
worried about
basically.
being caught in a stolen vehicle that's got like obvious battle damage.
Yeah, but it's them who did it, the fuckers. So, you know,
It is. Yeah.
them who were being the stealing baddies.
Mm-hmm.
We just came along and rescued the stolen cows.
He did.
You know.
He rescued his own cattle, and actually, if it wasn't for the fact that that guy got run over by a car,
Well, that also
nobody would
was.
have died. Well, he hasn't died because you've.
Yeah, he's fine.
You've been able to stabilise him. However, you're still going to have an awful lot of explaining to do when the police get here. You also have the problem of there's still one of the cattle in the hands of the enemy.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get that back.
Know where they're at. So your choices are going to
where
be
it's at.
what do you do to get it back, and how do you convince the authorities not to look too closely into what's going on here. You've got a week to think about it.
Yeah.
I might be able to help with that.
So I hope you enjoyed the game today.
Absolutely.
Excellent. A little bit of a short one for you, that one. But It's
That's what she
it's
said.
a logical stopping point, so we'll stop it there, and we'll pick it up next week as you try and decide whether you're going to go and get Daisy back from the other from the thieves.
Daisy number 5.
Daisy number 5, and how exactly you're going to get Bill out of the slightly sticky situation where the police is liable to be in.
Oh, you'll be fine.
So we'll pick it up from there next week. Thank you very much for joining us. Those of you who have watched the show, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll pick up, as I mentioned, from there next week with some difficult decisions to be made. But before you go, Jenny has some stuff to say.
Yes. If you are on Twitter, then you should definitely follow at Gethsemane Games for any updates to do with any of the games that we're streaming and also the products that Brian here makes.
He's good, that bloke, you know. I hear his stuff's really good.
Yeah, I suppose it's all right. Yeah. You can also check out Gethsemane Games at Drive-Thru RPG, and you should also take a look at Brian's Patreon if you search for BF Irving or Gethsemane Games, and Brian can explain a little bit more about that.
Yes, if you go to our Patreon, my Patreon, Gethsemane Games or Brian F. Irving, you'll find it either way. There you will find that for as little as £3 a month you can get maps, adventure, system agnostic adventures, and get full rule systems. You can get all kinds of stuff on there, well worth taking a look. Also check me out on Buy Me a Coffee if you'd just like to donate the price of a coffee to keep me going, because coffee is the very fuel upon which I operate. Or yes, we could always buy Marie a cup of tea instead.
Yeah. Oh yes, there's also, if you're interested in listening to podcasts, where some of our players talk about all things to do with nerdy related topics, as on Saturdays, repeated on Sundays, you can check out Illuminerdy. The Twitter account is at IlluminerdyDH9.
Yep.
Or you can listen to the show at dh9radio.com.
You can, and that's 7 o'clock every Saturday, repeated every Sunday, also at 7 o'clock. Previous seasons appear on the DH9 radio website under On Demand. You'll find season 6 is on there. There are some missing seasons that we didn't get put up there before the studio was locked down for the pandemic. And so they were recorded up there and they were on the studio computer. We will try and catch up with that. We have a lot of catching up to do. But certainly season 6, which was all recorded over Skype from home, that's up on the On Demand now. So you can listen to all 24 episodes of, well, actually 23 episodes of season 6. One episode was mysteriously lost. And I'll tell you that story perhaps another day. So thank you very much. Do stay safe, take care, and from us, good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.